There are places in this galaxy where the shadows grow darker than the void of space itself. Places where the very fabric of reality bends and warps under the weight of the dark side. Zeost, in the depths of the unknown regions, is one such place. I remember the day I ventured there alongside the twisted form of Darth Sion during the tumultuous days of the Jedi Civil War. We had discovered an ancient manuscript, a relic of the Sith Empire that spoke of a wellspring of dark side energy hidden beneath the ice of Zeost. The script promised untold power to those who dared seek it, and so we went, driven by our insatiable thirst for knowledge and dominance. It was there, in the depths of that cavern, that we felt the pull of the dark side stronger than ever before. It was as if the shadows themselves were whispering to us, guiding us deeper into the abyss. After hours of our journey, we were met by a Sis, a creature born of the dark side, but this one was unlike any I had encountered. It was beyond anything I'd seen, nearly the size of a baby crate dragon, its presence fueled by the dark energies of the cave. Sion, ever eager to prove his strength, engaged the beast head-on, his lightsaber crackling against its thick scales. But the creature was strong, too strong. Its mind was a fortress, fortified by the centuries it had spent in the depths of the dark side. I knew brute force would not be enough to bring down such a creature. Its mind had to be broken, its will shattered. And so, I reached out with the Force, delving deep into the creature's conscience, tearing through the layers of its mind like a blade through flesh. I could feel its fear, its desperation, as I tore through its thoughts, ripping apart its very essence. It was a creature of darkness, but even it could not withstand the full force of my power. Sion, in his brutality, delivered the final blow. The beast lay dead at our feet, its dark energies dissipating into the air. But it was not for the creature that we had come. No, it was for what lay hidden within the depths of that cave. There, hidden among the shadows, we found it. A holocron, crafted by a Sith Lord named Vitiate, a being of immense power and darkness. His teachings were inscribed within, knowledge that would serve us well in the days to come. Zeost had given us what we sought, but it had also shown us the true depths of the dark side, a power that could consume even the strongest of us if we were not careful. A lesson that I would carry with me always. Remember this, apprentice. To be a Sith is to embrace power, not to let it chain you. Your next task is to travel to an unknown world to you and seek out that which you fear. Face yourself and return to my holocron when you have succeeded. Listen closely, apprentice, for this lesson is not about glory or power, but about the harsh realities of the Sith path. Today, we will speak of Darth Sion, the Lord of Pain, a being whose very existence is a testament to the dark side's will, yet also a stark reminder of its limits and the folly that comes from misunderstanding it. Darth Sion, in his infinite arrogance, believed that pain was the source of strength. He embraced suffering, letting it course through his body like venom. His mastery over his agony allowed him to endure where others would have fallen. His body held together by sheer will and the dark side's twisted embrace. He imagined himself invincible, a true immortal who could never be broken or defeated. Yet, for all his endurance, for all his survival, he was a fool. Pain, while a source of power, is also a chain, a shackle that binds you to the physical. Sion failed to understand that true strength in the dark side comes not from clinging to the agony of the flesh, but from the mastery of it, the ability to let go of all that is mortal and embrace the infinite. His very existence was a contradiction, a constant battle between his will to live and his desire to die. He held onto life with a grip born of desperation, not realizing that it was his fear of death that kept him weak. Fear, apprentice, is the true enemy of power. Sion feared the end. He feared becoming nothing. In his fear, he became obsessed with preserving his wretched form, believing that his continued existence was proof of his power. But in truth, it was proof of his failure. In clinging to life, he could not move beyond it. He became stagnant, caught in an endless loop of torment and rage. This is the folly of Darth Sion, a Sith who believed his pain made him stronger, yet it was that very pain that trapped him. His immortality was an illusion, for no one who is enslaved to fear and agony can truly be considered strong. He was a slave to his own body, and his existence was a mockery of the power he thought he wielded. He could have become so much more. He could have let go of his fear, embraced the dark side fully, and transcended his broken form. But he chose to remain in his pain, to let it define him. And so, in the end, he was nothing but a shadow, a remnant of what he could have been, a powerful lesson to all who tread the path of the Sith. Sion's failure was in his misunderstanding, his belief that pain alone could make him invincible. Learn from his mistakes. Understand that true power lies not in the flesh, not in pain, but in the mastery over it. Only then can you hope to transcend the limits of this mortal coil and achieve greatness. Only then can you become something more than a mere Sith, something truly eternal. Now, apprentice, we turn our gaze to another fallen one, another who misunderstood the nature of the Force, and in doing so, became a mere shadow of what he might have been. Darth Nihilus, the Lord of Hunger. His very name strikes fear into the hearts of those who remember him. And yet, his fate serves as a dire warning to all who seek power without wisdom. Nihilus, or rather, the entity he became, was born from the cataclysm of Malachor V, a wound in the Force so deep that it consumed everything around it, including Nihilus himself. In that moment, he became more than just a man. He became a void, a hunger that could never be satisfied. He learned to feed on the Force, drawing life and energy from others to sustain his own existence. He believed that by consuming the Force, he could achieve a form of immortality, free from the limits of the flesh. But apprentice, what Nihilus failed to understand was that in his endless consumption he was not gaining power. He was losing himself. Each life he devoured, each soul he consumed, further unmade him. His hunger was insatiable, a bottomless abyss that could never be filled. And so, he became a wraith, an echo, less than a shadow, a slave to his own desire. In his pursuit of power, he lost his identity, his purpose, his very being. Nihilus ceased to be a man, ceased to be a Sith, and became a force of nature, a mindless storm. He believed himself beyond the reach of death, beyond the reach of any who might oppose him. But his strength was an illusion, a fragile veneer that crumbled the moment he was truly challenged. For all his power, Nihilus was weak, for he had no control over his hunger, no mastery over himself. He was ruled by his cravings, driven by his need to consume, never stopping to realize that he was but a hollow shell. He forgot that the essence of the Sith is not to be consumed by power, but to wield it with purpose and control. Nihilus had no control. He was a void, a nothingness that sought to make the galaxy mirror its emptiness. His downfall was inevitable. Those who become enslaved to their own desires, who lose sight of themselves, are doomed to destruction. When Nihilus sought to devour Talos, he did not do so out of strategy or ambition. He did it because his hunger drove him. It was a foolish act, one that exposed his true nature and led to his ultimate defeat. Nihilus could have been a great Sith. He could have learned to channel his hunger, to use it as a weapon instead of letting it consume him. He could have understood that power is not just about what you take, but what you are willing to sacrifice. Instead, he became a beast, a creature of instinct, driven by a need that could never be satisfied. Take heed of Nihilus's fate, apprentice. Power without control is a double-edged sword. To be a Sith is to command your own destiny, to be the master of your own desires, not their servant. Do not let your ambition blind you. Learn to wield your power with purpose, or you will find yourself, like Nihilus, consumed by the very darkness you sought to command. Remember, the path of the Sith is not merely about strength or hunger. It is about balance, understanding when to take and when to hold back.